Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here to review Love and Marriage Detroit. We're on season 2, episode 3. This one was titled All About the Ops. Which one? Which ops? Because I know they call in Kimberly the ops, but you know what? Latoya might as well be the ops too. She just don't remember. Oh, Latoya girl. Latoya. This episode came down with a severe case of amnesia and zero accountability. Latoya's like, I don't remember nothing from last season. I don't remember what I did. I don't remember what I said. I don't remember where I was. I don't remember none of it. All I know, Christina, is I don't like you, but I still don't know why. None of us do. None of us do. None of us really know why Latoya has such a beef with Christina, because the original beef really was between Christina and Colby. Latoya inserted herself. I think Latoya is just jealous because, like I said, I think this whole show was supposed to center around Christina. She was going to be the star, and I think Latoya had a problem with it from the very, very beginning. Her and Anthony, they want to be the stars. They're running around talking about that Christina and Brandon ain't nothing. They're nothing in this city and all this other kind of stuff. Well, that's because they want that spot. That's what, when you know someone doesn't like you, they don't really have no real beef with you. They make up stuff. But really what they're upset about is you're getting some shine that they want. And then what they're saying is you don't deserve it. That's really what Messy Anthony and Latoya are saying, is that we don't have no real beef with Christina and Brandon. The biggest beef we have with them is because they got shine as sort of like the stars of the show. And what for? They ain't nobody. They ain't nobody. But this season, it looks like Anthony's trying to turn a new leaf. He's decided, you know what? I want to make friends with Brandon and Christina because what's the old saying? If you can't beat them, join them. Because they tried to beat them last season and they got taken down. They got roasted out here in these YouTube streets and everywhere else. They got roasted. Messy Anthony got roasted, and so did Latoya. Remember when Latoya was trying to take Christina down at that last little party and Christina made mincemeat of her? Mincemeat. And like Christina is telling Latoya now, y'all tried to bring the ops to come at me, but even that girl, Kimberly, is a poodle. She ain't no pit bull. She's a poodle. I could take her down in my sleep. They better be careful coming for Christina. They really ought to be careful because it looks like Christina knows how to handle these people very, very well. And Anthony tried to stage this little lunch dinner with Christina to try to make up to Christina. Latoya wasn't interested in coming. He said, do you want to come? She said, what for? Latoya just sitting over there mean mugging with her mean mugging face. She an unhappy woman. She unhappy coming home from work. She unhappy with her husband. She's unhappy with Christina. She just unhappy. Can we get a smile, Latoya? Can we get a smile? But Christina was like, what you want to mean about Anthony? You was all messy last year, coming for me at every opportunity that you had. And now you want to sit over here and meet me for lunch. What for? What for? What is this all about? He said, well, I met with your husband, Brandon, and he told me they all have a little bit of problems. So I'm just here to let you know that I'm praying for you. Well, you could have sent that in a text. You could have just sent me the praying emoji. You didn't have to bring me here. Are you here for more information? Is that what it is, Messy Anthony? You want to get some more information so you can carry it on back to your mean mugging wife? Christina see right through Anthony. Because although he's trying to change his stripes, his spots, he can't do it but for 30 seconds. It's hard to change who you really are at your core. And at his core, Anthony is messy. But you know what? Kudos to him for even trying, because his wife, she not even trying. So kudos to Anthony for trying to turn a new leaf, not be so messy, be different. But we know it ain't going to last. Because as soon as he get in front of his wife, he go right back to the Anthony we know. And he trying to butter at Christina. He says, okay, Christina, I want to get with you. Hey, I think I want to have you on my podcast, to kind of introduce some of your music, because he know Christina trying to get back into music. So he said, let me butter her toast for her. Let me put some honey butter on this toast to try to loosen up Christina. So maybe she and I can be friends again. And I'm going to have you on the podcast to promote your music. And Christina said, I don't know. Let me check with my husband first to see if he'd be mad. Girl, your husband ain't even in the house. Your husband ain't even coming home at night. Why you got to check with him? He the one that wanted to leave. Shoot, when you say you want to leave me, then you don't get the privilege of telling me what to do no more. You don't get no say so. The day you walk out that door and say you done and you want to walk out the door, then privileges in my life are revoked. Revoked. You don't get no wife privileges when you ain't showing up as no husband. You see, when you get a say so in my life when you showing up as a husband, when you walk out the door and say you're going back to your mama's house, then your privileges get revoked too. Revoked. But Christina said, I don't know, Anthony. I know you're trying to, tighten this all up, make it all better. But he said, some of the stuff y'all did last season, I don't know if we can come back from it. I don't know if we can come back from it, because not only did you do it last season, you started off this season doing some some dirty, nasty work again. You brought this girl, Kimberly, after 10 years, all over a fight over an Android phone. Come on now. That's so petty. That is so petty. And Latoya over here acting like she don't know what the problem is. She knew what she was doing when she sat there at that coffee table feeding those people a steak on a coffee table. She knew right then and there what she was doing. She's so busy running around telling Christina and Brandon that they ain't nobody in this city. Well, obviously, Latoya and Anthony ain't nobody, because you definitely not high class, like I said before, when you serving your guest dinner on a coffee table and they got to hunch over. Did they even really have real silverware, or were they eating with plastic forks? Let me tell you something. Latoya's ghetto. I know she's a preacher's kid. Is she a preacher's kid, a PK kid? Let me tell you, she's classless. Classless. And to be honest with you, Christina really don't have no time to be fighting with Latoya and tussling with Latoya and Brandon, because she got her hands full with her own husband, Brandon. She can't be wasting time trying to change Anthony or Latoya, because she's so busy over here trying to change her husband, Brandon. And I don't know if she's going to be successful at that. Let me tell you something. Once people get a certain age, it's hard for them to change. It really is. I mean, they can change a little bit. Everyone can change a little. Everyone can get better. So let me make sure I clarify that. Everyone can get better. But are they going to go from all the way down here to all the way up here? No, they're not. So if you're working with a person who is way too much of something you don't like, the best that you can hope for is a measured improvement. You know what I'm saying? A measured improvement. The problem with Brandon is selfish and self-centered. That's the problem with Brandon. And what Christina says is, I want to have Russell come over here because I like Russell. What she sees in Russell, she likes. She thinks Russell is a man of God. And she wants Russell to help lead Brandon into learning how to be this man of God, as she says, walk with the fruit of the Spirit. And she says, Russell, can you come over here and give us some biblical counseling so that my husband can change? I really haven't heard about what Christina wants to do to change. I do hear a lot about Christina wanting Brandon to change. And one thing I know being married is it's never one person. There may be, I do understand that Brandon may have the bigger issues, the more of the problems, but there is always something that the other person can do as well. And I haven't heard Christina tap into that yet. I remember last year, something that I didn't like about Christina, she talked really, really horribly to Brandon. And it might be because, you know what, he's an F up. I understand that. But I thought to myself, that could be a problem. Because I remember thinking, now that I even know more context with his mother, who she's going to go talk to, I would think that Brandon is very, very sensitive to that type of criticism because he grew up with it. And so now having it in a wife could make it even worse. But Christina said, my plan is to get Brandon to hook up with Russell to give him some biblical counseling so he can start walking in the fruit of the Spirit. And when she was sitting down talking to the mother and talking about Brandon, she went over and talked to Brandon's mother and said, how's he doing over here? And the mother said, well, you know, Brandon doesn't really talk much. And she says they're kind of like passing ships in the night, because by the time Brandon gets home at night, she's already asleep. And Christina says, oh, that sounds like our marriage. So Brandon likes to stay up all night, go out all night. I guess he's saying he's at the studio. And by the time he gets home, Christina has already gone to bed, got the kids to bed, because she's up early in the morning. Brandon probably sleeps late and then stays up all night. And so they're like two ships passing the night. So the mother is looking at Christina and say, I know what you're dealing with. I know what you're dealing with, because I dealt with it with his father, that it's almost like having another child in the house. They really don't do much to help around the house. You kind of start to feel like you're alone. And I felt sorry for Christina, because what Christina was saying was she felt alone in her marriage. She felt like she was probably a housekeeper. She was a mother. She was a nurse to the children, and she was this person who's there just to support Brandon. But what about her? Who's filling her cup back up? Yeah, you get some filling up of her cup from her children, but it's not the same filling up of your cup that you want to have from your husband. And that's what Christina was looking for. And Christina started crying, and she started saying, she felt really, really lonely in the marriage. Really, really lonely. And let me tell you, when a woman feels lonely, there's only two things that's going to happen to that woman. She's either going to go out and have an affair with a man so she doesn't feel lonely, or when that man does finally come home, or he is at home, she's going to be so angry that the minute he walks into the door, she's going to be all over that man. And I believe that's what Christina chose. Christina chose the second part, that she's so lonely, she's so upset, that when Brandon did come home, she was all over him. And as a result of her being all over him, it actually makes him want to come home even less. It's really like a negative cycle. So imagine you're lonely, you're at home, your husband isn't spending time with you. When he finally does come home, whatever short period of time it is, you're so upset, you're so angry, you're so hurt, that when he's there, whatever time period it is, you spend that time arguing, harping on him, telling him all the things you don't like. And then in the end, that creates that new dynamic. That means, guess what? Now he really doesn't want to come home, and he starts to come home even less or even later, because now what he wants to do is he wants to make sure for sure you're asleep. He definitely don't want to come home at 7, 8 o'clock, because you still might be up. He wants to come home now at 11, 12 o'clock, so he knows you're for sure going to be asleep. So that becomes the negative cycle. How do you break the negative cycle? Now, Christina's method of breaking the negative cycle is to tell Brandon to come home more, spend time with her more. What she's asking to break the cycle is for Brandon to change. And what I'm saying to Christina is, I don't think that's going to work. I don't think that's going to work. I don't think telling Brandon to do it is going to make him do it. And even if he does do it, he's only doing it for her. He's not doing it for herself. What you got to do, Christina, is you got to make him feel like he's missing something. You got to have your own life. That mama of Brandon's told her the truth, and that is, go on with your life. Do what you need to do. Now, in the short term, you may feel like, wow, well, that I'm still lonely. I still don't have my husband. You're correct in the short term. But what you got to figure out is, does that man want to be there at all? And you telling him to be there isn't going to give you your answer. What you got to figure out is, he want to be there at all? And in the meantime, what you do is you fill your life with a bunch of things that bring you joy. Don't be sitting at home or waiting on him to come home, trying to stay up at night till he gets home. Fill your life with things that bring you joy. In those moments where you were looking for him, find things that bring you joy. And Christina, if that's your music, then that's your music. Find it and start doing it. Let me tell you something. When that man starts seeing you having a good time without him home, guess what? If he loves you, he'll say, wait a minute, I don't want to see her having this much of a good time without me. And then he'll change. But as long as he sees you there miserable, and then when he comes home and you're miserable, there's no incentive for him to change. The change has to be something that he wants to do. You see, because Brandon is self-centered. Brandon is selfish. He's not going to do it just for you, Christina. He's only going to do it if it also benefits him. And let me tell you what benefits him: when he sees his wife going on with her life, having a good time, filling her life with a lot of other joys. And now guess what happens? He's not in the middle of it. It doesn't mean you're giving up on your marriage. What it means is you're deciding to affect change in your marriage differently. You're deciding that you're not going to sit here and be bitter, and you're not going to be angry so that when he does come home, all you guys are doing is fussing and fighting. Because let me tell you, that does nothing for you and it does nothing for him. Now at this moment, not only are you angry, you're still lonely, and now you're harboring a bunch of bitterness. You got to get rid of the bitterness in your life, and the way you get rid of the bitterness in your life is you start filling your life with things that you enjoy. That's what Christina needs to do. And if Brandon decides that that's not good enough and that's not going to circle him on back to you, then you got to let him go. You got to let him go. But it's going to have to be his decision. You can't make him. Right now, Christina's trying to orchestrate this change with Brandon. She got Russell coming in, trying to counsel him. Brandon got to go out and seek his own counsel. You can't be setting up appointments for him like he's a little boy, he's a little kid. That's the same kind of mothering you was doing when you washing his laundry and everything else you're doing for him. It's just a continuation. You're trying to control Brandon. That's not going to help. That's not going to make him feel any better. I know it sounds counterintuitive what I'm saying, because maybe it sounds like I'm telling you to check out of your marriage. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. A lot of women go straight to divorce, and then what happens is the man regrets that the woman got away, right? What I'm telling you is there's a step in between that you have to do prior to you deciding you want a divorce, and that is you have to start fulfilling yourself. Your fulfillment has to come from you, things you want. And when that starts to radiate from you on the inside out, your husband will become more attracted to you. He will want to spend more time with you because guess what? He sees this woman enjoying her life and he wants to become a part of it. See, that's what got him there in the first place, because he saw this woman and he wanted to be a part of his life. But now your life has turned into what? Nothing. He's not interested in it. He has no interest in changing his life to be in your life, and now you're bitter about it. Get back to loving on yourself. Get back to doing something for yourself. And guess what? That will spark the interest. Right now, Brandon doesn't even have any interest in Christina whatsoever. He says they've grown apart. He even says that he thinks that they're not even equally yoked. Christina says she was scared to actually even do this separation from Brandon because she didn't know if she could make it on her own. She didn't have any confidence in herself. Over the years, Brandon has chipped away at her confidence, right? And she said once she realized it, she was like, wow, once I realized that I was doing most of this work by myself anyway. Brandon was not present at all. We were still living in the same house, but was he really contributing? No. And that's what I'm saying. Step into your own power. Stop talking about how we're such bad bees. Be one. Be one. And if Brandon wants to have more say-so in your life, then he needs to be present in your life. He doesn't get to just duck and dive in and out of your life, and then when moments come up into your life, he gets full authority over your life. Absolutely not, Christina. Set some boundaries. Tell him you have to earn this spot in my life, and right now you're not showing up as a husband. You're not showing up as a husband in my life, so you don't come around expecting husband privileges. A lot of people think they can change men, they can change husbands. You can't. The husband's got to want to change. The husband's got to want to change themselves. You can't make them change. And let me tell you something else. Even when they do some change, sometimes it's not as much as you want. So Christina wants Brandon to be a different person, a man who puts her first, who puts her girls first. Sorry, Christina, you married the wrong man. You married the wrong man. Brandon is always going to put himself first. What you could hope for is that he puts more effort into your marriage. He does more work. But this idea that all of a sudden now he's going to put you first and the girls first, it's not going to happen. Not in no consistent manner, because people are who they are at their core. Once you've married a person who is self-centered and selfish like Brandon is, the best you could hope for is some improvement. He's never going to be the guy that always puts you first. He's just, look at his mom is trying to tell you he's been this way for a long time, and she's trying to tell you who he gets it from. He gets it from his daddy. The mom is trying to tell you. You'll have to decide that is there a middle ground in which you can be happy with Brandon? Can Brandon make enough progress to give you more happiness? But the idea that he's going to be walking in the complete fruit of the spirit, as she says, always walking in love, joy, peace, gentleness, self-control, patience, and kindness. Girl, you asking for a whole nother man. You are asking for a whole nother man. Now, I know all things are possible through Jesus Christ, but right now, Brandon is telling you that you guys aren't even equally yoked at all. Sometimes I almost feel like Christina makes a better match for Russell and Kobe makes a better match for Brandon. But that tells you how opposites attract. Because the life that Christina wants really sounds like the life that Kobe has with Russell. And the life that Kobe wants, where she don't really want too many kids, sounds like the life that Brandon really wants, because I don't even think Brandon wants that many kids either. Christina's over here talking to Russell, and Russell says, let me make it clear, I'm not no counselor. I'm just a friend here trying to help a couple. And he says, Christina, what do you want? She says, I want the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, gentleness, self-control, patience, and kindness. Well, Christina, you become that. You become everything you're asking of Brandon. Everything. You become that to yourself. You become your love. You become your joy. You become your happiness. You practice your own self-control. You practice patience. You practice it for yourself, not for Brandon. Don't do it for Brandon. Do it for yourself. And I'm telling you, when he sees that change in you, he will admire it. He will desire it. He will want it. And then there will be a price for it. You'll tell him, oh yeah, you can get a little bit of this. You can get a little bit of this joy and peace and happiness and patience and self-control that I have. But to get it, you're going to have to show up consistently in my life. You don't get privileges to all my fruit and all my spirit when you're not bringing any of that at all yourself. Absolutely not. But the other two people that are going to need some of that fruit of the Spirit is going to be Miss Latoya, Dr. Latoya, and her new friend, Kimberly. We find out that Kimberly likes to curate events, and she says she does a lot of these events to support other Black women and Black businesses. Girl, you just tore down Christina and her whole business. Basically told Christina that she was inconsistent and she a bad businesswoman. So in one way, you curate events to uplift Black people, Black women in their businesses. But in the second way, you got on here in episode 1 tearing down Christina's business and telling her that she ain't no good businesswoman because she's not into reciprocity. She's not into reciprocity. Girl, she over here asking her husband too, can we have some time together? Can we have a date night once a month? Can we have a date night once a month? Welcome to marriage to a lot of people. Everybody trying to get date nights with their husbands, because most husbands, a lot of husbands, love to make money. They love to make money. And then what they think is that's all they got to do to keep their wife happy is to keep the bills paid. But women want time. Women want time with their husbands, right? And this is one of the things that women have to decide when they're choosing men to marry. And that is, men who want to make a lot of money, men who are very ambitious, men who, run businesses and entrepreneurs and who are very ambitious. A lot of times those same men don't have a lot of time. So if you're a woman who wants a lot of time, maybe you need to get a man with a less demanding career. A man that's got a 9 to 5. He clocks in at 9. He clocks out at 5. He comes home. Not the men going off for speaking engagement, entrepreneurs, music producers. There's trade-offs, ladies. There's trade-offs. And I know a woman wants everything all at once, but it's rare. It's rare that you get all of it at once. You got to decide. You got to figure out what's most important in your life, and you got to go after that. So now they trying to get a date night once a month. Once a month, a date night. That ain't even a lot. Once every 30 days? What? Good luck, Good luck to the Dobines. Good luck to the Dobines. But we got Kobe coming on the scene, going to Pilates with Dr. Latoya to try to help her out with her pregnancy pain. And Kobe says she's trying to be optimistic about the fact that she's going to have a little girl. And she said, we're getting ready to add another princess. Like I said, she don't want no more princesses in the house. She want to be the queen with no princesses. She want to be a queen with no court. Oh, I tell you, poor Kobe, poor Kobe. And you know what? I was happy to hear that Dr. Latoya shared the story and the outcome of when she had this same bad attitude. Dr. Latoya said, you know what? I was just like you, Kobe. Had a bad attitude when I had 2 boys because she wanted a girl. And she said she carried that baby with a bad attitude. And now when that baby comes out, he's meek and he's mild. He's meek and he's mild. Doesn't want to speak up. Don't want to say anything because maybe what Dr. Latoya is saying is maybe he felt my vibes. Maybe he felt the vibes that I didn't really want to hear from him. He's not what I really wanted. And so now that he's out of my womb, he's a child that wants to sit over in the corner in the shadows because guess what? Maybe he felt the vibes of not being wanted. And I'm telling you, we saw it last episode when when Kobe with her daughter seemed very quiet and shy and was sitting up over there underneath the arm of her daddy because it looks like that's where her shelter was. Her shelter was with her father because she didn't want to annoy her mother too much because she senses that her mother really doesn't want her that much. Her mother may love her, but her mother doesn't want to be with her all that much. Kobe don't want no princesses in the house. Kobe just wants to be the queen. I hope the message from Dr. Latoya helped Kobe. I hope it was enough to turn her around. I hope it was enough to give her a chance to change her bad attitude before another child comes out of her womb and has to feel with the younger girl. I hope she can change even her relationship with her younger child before it's too late. But as they were talking, Miss Dobine showed up and Latoya said, "Oh, we were just talking about you." We were just talking about you. And the next thing you know, Latoya is telling Kimberly, Christine think you was trying to come for her neck. Now Latoya is putting it all on the neck and back of Kimberly. Latoya basically invited Kimberly and then she struck the match and Kimberly put gasoline on it. And now Latoya's asking Kimberly, why'd you put so much gasoline on the fire that I started? That's kind of what Latoya is doing, as if she had nothing to do with it. And now she's trying to put it all on Kimberly what you did at the dinner table is being seen as messy and nasty. Well, you started it, Latoya. You invited her there. You heard her whole story about how she didn't like Christine. And now you're saying, well, I didn't know it was that bad. Like I said, she started a fire. Kimberly came and poured gasoline. And now what she's saying is, well, I didn't know Kimberly was going to put that much fire on it. I did want her to come and participate in the fire, but I didn't know she was going to do that much. Latoya got embarrassed last season by Christina because Christina handled Latoya real well. She got embarrassed. She knows she's no force to reckon with when it comes to Christina. So she brought in Kimberly to do her dirty work. That's what she did. She's an arsonist. She's an arsonist. And now she's going to say is, I didn't start the fire. Kimberly did. Kimberly's the one that put the gasoline on the fire. I didn't do it. Like I said, now she got amnesia and she has zero accountability. So when they get ready to go through this little, what they call it, football with the puffer things on or whatever, they're going at it, trying to take out some aggression on each other, knock each other down. And Christina's like, I just want to tell you how I feel about what went down. And Latoya, like I said, is amnesia, no recollection. Sorry, I don't recall taking the Fifth Amendment. I don't remember. I didn't say that. I wasn't there. That's not how it was said. Nothing. Zero accountability. No, I'm sorries. No, nothing she could have done differently. Zero. Not coming to the table with any amount of remorse, no amount of regret, nothing. Just showing up. And then she tries to say, well, it's just not me who's saying about you. This is what people say in the street. Now Latoya is not just blaming Dr. Kimberly or not just blaming Kimberly for doing it. Latoya is trying now to say, it's not me who's saying it, Christina. It's all the people in Detroit. All of Detroit, Latoya, all of Detroit. Christina said, what people? Name them. What people in Detroit. What people, Latoya? Latoya is not too bright. I know she's a doctor and everything, but she's not too bright. Because when Christina was asking her what people, the only people she could mention is Kobe and herself. Girl, you're not all of Detroit. I know you think you all of Detroit, but you aren't all of Detroit. And who are all these people you're talking about who says that I'm such a bad business person? And she could never answer the question. Never. Oh, me, Kobe, and now this new girl I brought in, a Kimberly. We're all of Detroit. Girl, Latoya, go sit down. Go sit down. So although Messy Anthony may be trying to turn a new leaf. He's not going to be able to do it because his wife doesn't want to do it. And because his wife doesn't want to do it, now what's going to happen is he's going to be stuck into trying to turn a new leaf and stuck in between a woman who wants to stay right where she is, because Latoya is not interested in changing one bit. She wants to stay right where she is. And now that's going to cause beef between Latoya and Anthony. Wait for it. It's coming. It's coming, because Latoya don't want to make up with Christina, because what's fueling Latoya's disgust, hate, anger with Christina is jealousy. It's pure on jealousy. And I don't really know why. I don't really know why she's jealous, besides the fact that whatever Christina got, she must want it. She must want it. And I know she don't want that husband. She don't want the life Christina has with Brandon. But what she wants is she wants to shine, the shine of Christina. Because Christina has a shine to her, and Latoya don't have no shine to her. Latoya is boring. She don't have no shine. She don't have that personality. She don't have that spark. She don't have that thing that Carlos looks for in the stars of his show. Latoya don't have it. Latoya is a supporting cast member. She not the star, but she wanna be. She wanna be, and that's why she don't like Christina, because Christina is a star. And you know who else knew Christina was a star? Brandon did. That's why Brandon didn't want Christina really to go into music, because Brandon doesn't want Christina to outshine him either. Christina better start learning that sometimes your ops are your enemies, because what they're trying to do is diminish your shine and diminish your star. And that's what a lot of people are doing to Christina. Christina, girl, you got a lot of people coming from you this season. You got a lot on your back. But I'm going to tell you right now, stop trying to change your husband. He going to have to change on his own. He going to want to have to change for himself. Stop trying to orchestrate it. It doesn't mean that you have to leave him. Doesn't mean you have to abandon your marriage. But what you do have to do is what that mama told you. You need to start enjoying your life, and you need to stop holding your own life hostage from happiness until your man changes. No, you go ahead and change. You start enjoying your life, and you let him sit right where he is. And I am telling you that once you start getting to your own happy place, enjoying your life, it will radiate from you, and your man will become interested. He will become interested, and he'll be like, well, who's putting that smile on your face? Why are you so happy walking around the house? Why are you so happy? That's when it'll change. He'll be wondering why you full of joy and happiness and the fruit of the spirit, because what he'll know is he ain't doing it. He's not the one filling you up with it. So what he's going to want to know is who's doing it for you. And he's going to want to be that person in your life. Then he'll step up. There you go, Christina. There's a little tip for you. But that's it. That's all I got. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, and please don't forget to subscribe. Talk to y'all later. Bye.